Hello friends, been a while since I made a video. I am actually vacation with the family. Been vacation with the family. We are in the Republic of Georgia. So if you're in this part of the world, definitely a good place to go vacation. We are in this particular case in Batumy. And Batumy, even though it's further north than North Carolina, actually probably about the same latitude as New York, or just south of New York, is a very tropical area. Palm trees, naturally growing palm trees in the wild also, so kind of like Houston, where they bring the palm trees and the big freeze comes along once every 10-15 years, kills most of them off. These are naturally wild-grown palm trees, plus what gets planted around here. So this is a working vacation for several reasons. The first is we're, of course, fighting for one, to make sure that the liberals, the Soros parasites, don't take over Georgia. They tried once. They tried many times. So they tried it a couple of months ago. Failed, thank God. And I put up some photos of what downtown Tbilisi on Rastaveli. Rastaveli is the main street in the middle of Tbilisi. It runs past Parliament. What it looked like. You know, what happens when world liberalism rips into your country and tries to overthrow your government. They trash everything up because they're parasites and pigs and not much more. Pretty ignorant ones too. I mean, these are the people that were screaming, "We don't want the Russian law," as far as the law for transparency on assets, so non-governmental entities, NGOs. So they're actually fighting for corruption, if you can believe that. By the way, the U.S. is sponsoring it is the very nation that has had the same law in place since 1936. But, you know, why confuse the idiots with facts? I mean, their leadership's obviously getting paid off by USAID and other such corrupt globalist organizations. But the common foot soldier's just stupid. That's how they drive them out there. It's sheer stupidity. So I went, I did several interviews, both as a subject and as the interviewer, with various pro-Russian or Russian-inclined news medias and persons whom we were working. All of them who want close ties with Russia, and Russia wants close ties with Georgia. There's nothing of this domination type mentality that the U.S. has, but equal trade, equal opportunity, and the ability to stay off the Western globalists. The very Western globalists, who, by the way, want Georgia to be massacred against Russia, just to open up another front. And thankfully, very much so thankfully, most Georgians realize that. And realizing that, especially the Georgian government, that's pseudo-pro-EU, but really it doesn't take the EU idiocies. So it's actually, as much as pseudo-pro-EU, it's actually now under sanctions from both the US and the EU. As a fact, the richest man backing it, Ivanishvili, has had 2 billion euro of his assets confiscated by the European Union, where he said, "Go choke on them, you bastards." And he did exactly the right thing to say that. Georgia, as a matter of fact, is also pushing through legislature that will change the actual constitution to ban LGBT and all those other idiocies of the Western woke world, which is guaranteed to just drive the Western liberals even further into the realm of total insanity and hatred toward everything Georgian. Because Georgians, believe it or not, want to remain Georgian. They don't want to become just another biomass for the Western capitalists, financial capitalists. They want to be Georgians. Yeah. believe it or not, and pursue Georgian interests, not American interests, and not die in massive waves, meat waves against Russia, just so the American project of Ukraine doesn't fail just as miserably as it is failing right now. So, as we go further on, it's an interesting place, by the way, Georgia. You don't need a visa to come here if you're an American, and I think if you're a European. And Georgia, well, the course Georgia took, Georgia's going to have to become a close ally with Russia. And with the Russian bloc, the axis of evil, the axis of resistance, the axis of being a pain in the ass to the Western oligarchs. Yeah, we're all of that. Especially we're real evil because, we believe in God, which you can't say for judging the clown world that was the Olympic opening ceremony. I mean, if you look 10 years earlier, the Russian Olympic ceremony, which was classic, which had a lot of dance in it, which basically was everything that the so-called European culture was. And then you look at, that was Russia in 2014, the Olympics. And then you look at the Olympics in Olympic opening ceremony in France, and that shame on humanity crap that they showed, and that direct woke insult to the Last Supper with their, I don't know what that was, a transgender rap, obese, and all the other crap that they can push, and they have pushed and will push for humanity. Yeah, get behind all that. The Satanism, the lack of any respect for yourself, that type of society. Now, we'll get on to a little bit of other news. Some of you have heard there was a Wagner outfit in Mali that got ambushed along with Malian soldiers. And there were quite a few people got killed from the Wagner side. It's war. Mali is in a civil war against Islamic jihadists. And guess who the Islamic jihadists are being funded by and trained? Yes, first of all, the French and the Americans. And as part of world jihad, because, if it's jihad and as long as it's fits American interest, America is more than happy to sponsor, train, and breed these psychopaths as much as possible. And then use them all over the world. And use them as an excuse to massacre and murder people all over the world. So, what happened there, the Malian military had broken the back of the biggest formations in a besieged city in the north. Those formations broke up into smaller formations of several dozen to 100 plus fighters, and they spread out. And the Wagner group, along with the Malian troops, they were moving in to support as backup, and they got ambushed. They got ambushed during a sandstorm, so they couldn't get aviation in to help. Then the enemy won that one. And then what comes out is the Ukrainian, the Hold is there, of course, supporting Islamic Jihad and any other American terrorist group he can support, because he's a terrorist, so he's supporting other terrorists. And it turns out that quite a few of the Ukrainian special operations guys, Budanov's terrorists, are operating and training these jihadists. It's out and out jihadists. I know, you're shocked. Everyone's just shocked. Imagine that. Ukraine is supporting Islamic Jihad that's supported and owned by America. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Do I need to do air quotes? I don't think so. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just one more step, pro-humane step of the American DC Satanic Temple. Stop. Satanic Temple on Potomac. Stop. That's what we got to do. Stop them. Stop those evil bastards are sitting up there. And by the way, all of you who are hoping on Trump, don't forget it was Trump who armed the Ukrainian Nazis. Obama brought him into power, and Trump took away the embargo on weapons. And off we were all to the races of where we are now, on the edge of World War III and the mass die-off of North America, north of the Rio Grande. And don't fool yourself for a minute. Russian advances, by the way, under Kupins, the first Russian tank army has made several breakthroughs, big breakthroughs on several fronts. We're not talking about 200, 500 meters, maybe a kilometer. Just on the first day, they had a 4-kilometer breakthrough. The Ukrainians are dropping and walking and running or surrendering in a lot of that area, and they can't stop it. So the breakthroughs continue, and on average, it's gaining about in-depth 1 to 2 to 3 kilometers a day on multiple axes of advance. Is this the big offensive? We don't know. But on the Kupins area, it's definitely a big offensive. And the Ukrainians have nothing left. They got snookered into going into other areas where there's lots and lots of probing attacks. And they moved their reserves there. And the main axis of attack was very weakly defended. And they got whacked. And they're being whacked and will continue to get whacked. So my theory is by the end of August, beginning of September is going to be the crucial decision point. Whether this war is going to eventually being relatively soon, wind down, or whether this war is about to escalate into a whole new dimension. Because NATO's got an option. It either doubles down or it writes them off. Because by the time the way this is going, because there are other multiple offensives, smaller offensives going everywhere, plus in Zaporozhye, there's a group of 90,000 that's getting ready to move north. It's got the Ukrainians panicking. Plus in Suma, on the border with Suma, there's another group of 300,000 that's getting ready to break through. So they really have no idea what to do at this point. We've got them, what it's called, on the horns of a dilemma. Defend this part, lose that part, defend that part, lose that part, really just lose everything. Little everywhere, as Sun Tzu said, he who defends everywhere is strong nowhere. And that's what's happening right now, exactly. So, come end of August, beginning of September, either NATO puts its troops in, or NATO loses. And it's that simple. There is no other way around for NATO. So we'll see. If NATO wants to fight, we'll fight. And I've thought out, asked for officers' commissions. I had one in the U.S. Army. Asked for a Russian officers' commission to fight. So far, they've said no, they don't need it. Me, or actually quite a few of my friends are former officers of the Russian Army, because it's not a big enough war. But if NATO expands it, well, it'll be what it'll be. And we'll give them the fight that they never thought it was possible to get. One that most NATO won't come out of in one piece from. So I'm hoping that they're smart enough that they don't go for it. But if they do go for it, okay, so we'll fight. We'll see what happens to NATO after that. And those NATO economies that are already cracking under the weight. So we'll see how well they'll be able to hold. Anyways, so that's the reality we're standing at right now. And how things are going. So we'll live and see. Okay, take care. I'm going to join the family at the beach. God bless. And by the way, I almost forgot. 2 pimp outs. First of all, to our friends at exitstrategy.world. Not only am I spokesman for them in Eurasia, I'm also a satisfied customer with them. So if you want to transfer your money out, say out of expensive jurisdictions into less expensive jurisdictions that won't steal it from you, definitely look at exitstrategy.world. Work individually with people to meet their needs. So it's what you need, not what they want. So plenty of offices, plenty of places where you can move your money to. Georgia, we're developing that, as in fact. I was here, I got your partner for that too. We're going to develop Georgia as one of those places where you can move your money. Set up an account, turnkey account, even get residency, all waiting for you. So you can easily sit here, or have your money sit here, and when you need to, you come in and then get your residency. Escape out of the clutches of the megalomaniacs who really want your money. So that's exitstrategy.world. The other one, that's right, book I'm reading right now, The Red Republicans. you want to understand what's going on, for especially and particularly for Americans, it's the Red Republicans. Red Republicans and Lincoln's Marxists are Walter D. Kennedy and Al Benson Jr. This is an excellent book, historical book, that shows you how the 48ers, the 1848ers, and if you don't know who those are, or were rather, you need to seriously start reading history. How those 1848ers created the Republican Party. They were Marxists. They were flat out Marxist, communist, socialist. It was all interchangeable back then. How they helped create the Republican Party that Lincoln ran, and how they fought the Civil War for their own ends, partially to remake the American government into the monster it is now, the socialist monster it is now. So if you want to understand what's going on, that's the type of books you need to be reading. And yes, the Republican Party and Democrat Party changed places back around the 40s in value sets, but the Republican Party hasn't given up on big government either. And don't fool yourself about it. No, Trump's not going to drain the swamp. He may drain some of the creatures of the swamp and put his own creatures in, but he's definitely not going to drain the swamp. He's part of that swamp and has been since his first administration. So, again, God bless.